Why is like Indian cinema different?
Why Indian cinema is different is because we really do touch upon our culture. We showcase stories that display our culture, whether it's like depictions of the Ramayana or even other mythological stories. They really do show our Indian history, our Indian culture.
And maybe the fact that, I don't know if the characters and the age, like, or the look of certain actors maybe is a bit more relatable.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to the common man that they portray.
Welcome to the Pan India Project, episode 3. I'm your host Rohan, or some of you may know me as the Indian Cinema Junkie. For today's episode, we're going to do a deep dive into what is Indian cinema, so this episode is great. If you want to learn more about Indian cinema, or if you're just a beginner and want to learn about Indian cinema, and in the studio today with me, I have Deeksha. Deeksha, welcome to the Pan India Project.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to talk about this. Probably like my favorite topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Can go on about it for so long. So I'm glad to have a chat about it today.
Yeah, so when I say the words Indian cinema, what comes to your mind?
Just vibrant, just this beautiful display of Indian culture that India has to show to the audience. Like, we're such a big country and we've all got different cultures from different parts of the country to display. And I feel like Indian cinema really does show that, regardless of the industry, whether it's Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, even other Mollywood as well. So there's a lot to go on. So I can't name all of the industries, but from all the industries around India, it really does display how beautiful our culture is.
Yeah, because there is a lot of industries, but I guess with Indian cinema, it is a lot different to like Hollywood but like, how do you think Indian cinema stands out compared to like Hollywood? Why is like Indian cinema different? Would you say?
I feel why Indian cinema is different is because we really do touch upon our culture. We showcase stories that display our culture, whether it's like depictions of the Ramayana or even other mythological stories. And not just that, even history, Indian history, with some new releases coming up. I think like Chava is also coming up now recently with Vicky Kaushal, and even other films like Bajirao Mastani. Like, they really do show our Indian history, our Indian culture, and a range of things about our country, which I feel is very different to Hollywood. And we've just got a lot of masala in our movies, commercialization with the songs, the dancing, the dialogues especially that remain etched in everybody's memories, whether it's like the suave dialogues that Rajinikanth goes through and Vijay's mask. Like, that's just another that's what makes it unique, I'd say. Like, Hollywood definitely does have has its standouts, but like Indians, it's just different and it hits you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. Also, like, I think a big thing for Indian cinema is the star idolization. I mean, people treat them as gods, right?
Exactly. That is true.
Like, Rajinikanth and all, they literally look up to them. And I think another difference is cinema experience. When we go to the cinema to watch an Indian film, I think it just hits different. Like, there's cheers, there's people dancing sometimes. I don't think you get that with like Hollywood films, right?
No, I don't think they're the dancing, the whistling. The whistling is constant. And even for like stars who have this like really big image, like you see people out at Vijay's movies in India at like 5 a.m. queuing up for the first day shows, 4 a.m. wanting to get the very first day first show. And I feel like that doesn't happen with any other industry, which is what makes us very unique.
Yeah, unless it's like a big like Hollywood production. I mean, like when I went to watch Balia's film recently, they were like chanting and stuff for him. So, and maybe the fact that, I don't know if the characters and the age, like, or the look of certain actors maybe is a bit more relatable because they're a bit more realistic, would you say, as well?
Yeah, I say so. I think a lot of them really do relate with the common man. I think, I mean, except for the fight scenes and sequences, which we do not do every day. But like, except for the action sequences, like, I feel like a lot of people can relate to the common man that they portray as well in cinema.
Yeah, because I think like Indian cinema, how do you think Indian cinema has like influenced our lives as well? Because obviously, in terms of music, like you have weddings and all of that. So like, how do you think that's actually like affected us in like life?
I feel like the hero's like values, usually when you see the hero on screen, whether it's Talapati, whether it's Shah Rukh, whether it's anybody, like, you feel like the values that they hold for being the hero, they're the good guy, the positive one. Like they say in our Indian culture, good over evil. I feel like they display the values that we all also relate to, whether it's family values, social values, just our own values as well.
Yeah, because I think also like what makes it how it's impacted our lives is like if you go to a wedding and stuff, people walk down to film songs, right? And like I would say when you go to a party, like 90% of like songs or like social gatherings is songs from films, right? I mean, if we had no film, there'd be
No,
no songs or
yeah.
like even I think how you look at love nowadays, right? Like you think it's like an Indian film, you know. So I feel like it does have that huge impact because I'm sure maybe with like you, like even like from like other generations, they've surely been into Indian cinema as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I get my love for Indian cinema from my family.
Yeah.
Like, my family are big film fanatics, so I feel like that's just come down onto me. And the topic of love that you said, because I'm a big Indian film fan, Shah Rukh has raised the standards for all the women across the generation. So it's just like, if I don't get a man like Shah Rukh, where am I going to find a guy like that?
And that's the thing, because Indian cinema is complex and there are so many industries. Like, let's just talk about it. Like, do you know how many there are? Because there's an article I've got which says, so do you want to guess how many?
Um, I have no clue. I'm pretty sure it's more than like 20 or 30
Okay.
plus, 50 plus maybe.
So there's this article and it actually says that there's 16 regional film industries in India.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read like all of them out quickly. So you got like Assamese film industry, you got Bagada film industry, you got Bengali film industry, then you got Bhojpuri
Yeah.
industry, like film industry, Gujarati film
Yeah.
industry, and you also have obviously a Hindi film industry, like the big
Yeah.
ones like Hindi, Kannada, Konkani, Malayalam, Marathi industry, Oriya industry, Punjabi film industry, Sindhi film industry, Tamil film industry, Telugu film industry, and Tulu film industry. So it is quite diverse because I think with one country itself, you don't get that many languages,
That
like
is
films.
very
Like
true.
16 is massive. I mean, which ones do you kind of resonate with, or which ones have you seen, like when you've been growing up and stuff?
Growing up, Hindi was the biggest one. I feel like Bollywood is the thing that I grew up watching the most. Even though I'm a South Indian person, I'm actually Telugu, but I ended up watching a lot more Bollywood as a kid. So I probably have seen almost every film that's released. I can't even tell, but Hindi definitely, that's number one. And as a South Indian myself, I did grow up on Telugu and Tamil, mainly Telugu and Tamil. But then obviously after COVID hit and we've all got access to OTT and the ability to see all these different ranges, I've slowly started watching more Malayalam films as well. And Kannada, a couple here and there, but the main ones, of course, KGF 1 and 2.
Yes.
So yeah, those are the ones that I've really grown up watching on. And I've resonated with a lot more on the Telugu, Tamil and Hindi mainly.
Yeah, I think because my journey was Hindi cinema right from the get go. And then I think it started. I think so. I went to watch Robot in the cinema when that came up. But I think it was in Hindi. But like we knew who Rajinikanth was back
Yeah.
in the day. But I think like the last 2-3 years is when it really like changed. Like obviously you have like now I know like Vijay and all the like Tamil films. I started watching Telugu started to come in as well, and like Malayalam. In the last year, I've watched quite a bit of Malayalam films.
Yeah.
Now that they've come out, but it's just so diverse. Like I don't know if people. Do you think there's that thing still where people do just stick to one industry? They don't want to watch, like, not neglect other industries, but they're not as keen to watch films from other industries.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the person because maybe like some people just feel like, okay, there's some nostalgia with the industry I've been growing up on. So someone who's probably just watched Hindi their whole life, they feel like, okay, I've grown up watching Hindi. I resonate with Hindi cinema. I feel like I'm just going to stick to Hindi cinema.
Yeah.
But I mean, because a lot of the other films from different languages get dubbed as well, they
Yeah.
end up watching it in dubbed. But I feel like it hits different when you watch it in the original language
Yeah,
than dubbed.
that's true as well. But now we have this like big like culture, right, of pan like India
Yeah.
cinema. What do you think of literally that like kind of whole phenomenon?
I think
That's-
it's amazing. Credit goes to Mr. Rajamouli, sir, because he really started this whole movement with Bahubali back in 2015 when that first released. And I think that started this whole wave, which I think is excellent because now we've got actors from different industries working in different ways. A lot of actors from Tamil going up to Hindi coming down to Telugu, coming down south to Malayalam, vice versa. I feel like it just gives more diversity, and we can actually see real portrayed versions of people from that area. Like, we don't get a different actor and then make them fulfill all the stereotypes of that place. So by getting actors from the actual area and knowing about their culture is a really good way to like diversify the industry instead of just portraying stereotypes on screen.
Yeah, because it's done like really well. Like let's like Pushpa 2, right? I mean, big pan India film, but turns out there's biggest Hindi film as well now. So a Hindi film doesn't need to be the biggest film in like Bollywood now
Yeah.
or stuff. Like it's just become pan India, and like you said, yeah, different actors are collabing as well. Even directors, right? Like
Yeah,
Atli's
exactly.
kind of jumped the ship to like Bollywood and stuff. So it is crazy. But if we had to like pick 10 Indian films, so it can be any region, that everyone should watch at least once in their lives, you know, like let's just go through like a list. We're gonna make a list. So what would you say are like some non-negotiables in this list?
Non-negotiables. There are way too many, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be so hard to narrow down. I feel like everybody has watched Three Idiots.
Yeah,
Like I think
that's
that's
definitely
something
one.
you
That's
have
definitely
to watch.
one. Yeah.
Three Idiots. I feel like even if I was introducing Indian cinema to someone who's not Indian, like
Yeah.
a white person or East Asian person, I would definitely say Three Idiots is
Yeah,
up there.
that's definitely one.
I think everybody has watched that. And the all-time family classic, Kabhi Khushi.
Yeah.
Kabhi Khushi, Kabhi Gham is a must. I think every brown kid has watched that film growing up, regardless of the generation you're from.
Yeah, that those two are definitely non-negotiables. Bahubali.
Bahubali, both 1 and 2.
I've seen one. I've seen one. See, one was good, I would say, but I feel like with like his films, he's very clever in the way he makes films. Like even with RRR as well, he's quite logical. That's one. I say KGF 100%.
Yeah.
Because that was a big turning point, like for Yash, and I think Indian cinema in general.
Yeah.
And I think there's a hidden meaning behind that film.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a bit more deeper than you think, because at the time of its release, like, did you know it came out at the same time as Zero?
Yeah, it did.
And after, obviously, Shah Rukh Khan left the industry for what, 4 years?
4
pretty much?
years. Zero is 2018.
So he
4
left,
years.
and then we got a new star. So it's not, he didn't directly pass the torch to Yash, but I just feel like a bigger star was born, and one just kind of took a break. Like,
Yeah.
KGF 1 definitely. So what's that? Three Idiots, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, Bahubali.
Are we doing both Bahubalis or just one?
We'll go for one now,
Okay.
and KGF.
KGF 1.
So is that 5?
So that's 4 now.
4, yeah.
So
DDLJ?
DDLJ,
Dil
yeah.
Diwali-
Jab We Met, would you say?
I
Or
haven't
would
seen
you
it.
not? You've not watched
I
Jab
haven't
We
seen it.
Met?
See,
Brother,
this is
what are you
weird.
doing?
I haven't seen some of the popular ones. So we got 5. We could add that in.
Could. Okay, that's a maybe, but okay,
So we
we'll
got
keep
5.
going. I think any Vijay. I think one of Vijay's
Yeah,
older movies.
and Rajni. One video. Robot. I think either Robot. I think Robot could be one as well.
Robot, or I feel another. What other better
Oh.
Rajni film could be?
Sivaji.
Shivaji The Boss is
It's quite-
elite.
that has got like the best background music as well. So let's go with that then.
We'll
Yeah.
go with Shivaji The Boss.
Vijay film. What telepathy film?
Too many, man.
There is.
It's so
I'll-
hard.
My favorites are Mersal and
Mersal.
Teri.
Mersal and Theory. I
Is there
really,
an older one that
I actually enjoyed Master as well.
Master's alright, or Ghilli? Maybe
Oh,
Ghilli.
Ghilli,
Let's go, because that is
100%.
the
I think
definition.
Ghilli is a must. I feel like that one really. I mean, he's had his turning point with older films, but I feel like that made a whole like. I mean, the Vijay and Trisha pairing were excellent.
Yeah, and I think that's just the definition of an all-out entertainer.
Yeah.
So we've got those two. I think Pokiri as well,
Pokiri
but
is also
original
fun.
one,
The original with
one.
Mahesh Babu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you go into that film and you don't know what's happening, you're gonna get like the plot twist.
Yeah.
It's like
okay, that was
one of the best.
crazy.
Like if you didn't know what's happening, then you'll be in shocked.
Mhm.
Like 100%. So we've got Pokiri, Sivaji, Ghilli, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham,
DDLJ.
DODJ, Three Idiots,
Three Idiots.
KGF,
one.
Bahubali.
Bahubali. So that's 8.
Two
What are we doing? Are we doing
more.
10? Oh, I
There's
can
so
break
many.
This
We're gonna
list
miss.
to 100.
Yeah,
I can
well, we're
make
gonna
this
miss
to
some.
100.
Like there's so many. I think. See, I haven't seen this film fully, but I think it's a classic, right? Sholay.
Sholay, yeah.
Sholay
that's
is like one of those films that,
definitely.
you know, when did it come out? 97.
75, I think.
Yeah, like
To be exact.
so. It's one of those. Wow. So it's gonna be what 50 this
50
year.
this year. That's which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's got the iconic scenes where he cuts the guy's arms off and
Basanti.
Mujhe haath de do and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. So that I think is one. So got one more.
Okay.
There's too many,
ooh,
like-
there's millions. I could make this list up to
yeah.
number 100, but like, oh my god, this is hard.
Have we got? So we got like love film. We've got action film.
Om
You've got-
Shanti Om? Or would that also be? I mean, we've already got 2 Shah Rukh
Oh
films
yeah.
on there.
Oh, he's gonna take
Let's
the whole
not.
list.
I'll take all of
He's
Shah
gonna-
Rukh's films. Yeah, we've already got 2 Shah Rukhs
Oh,
on there.
We've got a Vijay film. We've got a Rajni film. We've got 2 Telugu films really. Malayalam film.
Yeah, Malayalam. Let's
See,
get
there's
one.
one.
Lucifer I really enjoyed
haven't-
with Mohanlal.
Is that good?
I thought it was really good.
So there's one I watched recently, Marco. Like
Uh-huh.
that was actually one of the best films of the year, but it was so violent.
So, I mean, trigger warning for younger viewers.
Yeah.
But
So younger maybe don't watch it yet when you're when you're old enough, because the stuff he does in it,
Yeah.
it's pretty graphic. So should we go Lucifer?
Okay.
Mark.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
we'll go with-
Mohanlal film.
Yeah,
so,
we'll go with Lucifer then.
Yeah.
So the final 10 is Three Idiots, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham,
DDLJ.
DDLJ,
Ghilli.
Ghilli, Pokiri,
Pokiri.
Shivaji,
Sivaji The Boss.
KGF1,
KGF 1. Bahubali 1.
Lucifer,
Lucifer. And what was the last
What
one?
was
I'm
the
already
last one?
forgetting.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham we said.
Yeah, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham. Oh, we did not say Kabhi Khushi
Oh, we
Kabhie Gham.
didn't?
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the one.
And Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham. Yeah, so those are 10. We're going to talk about some other films where we didn't mention in the 10 you need to watch, but I think these are some films that you have to watch as well after you watch the 10, or
Yeah.
if you want to watch these films, then so what's some other films you were thinking of?
Yeah, so other films I've been thinking, I think Ye Jawani Hai Diwani,
Yes.
Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I mean, it depends on which one, because they're both on around a similar theme about
Okay.
friendship.
Yeah,
so,
Jawani Hai Diwani is really good, re-released this year.
Exactly.
I actually haven't seen.
Zindagi,
No.
you have to see Zindagi
I
Na
haven't
Milegi
seen
Dobara.
that.
You will want to go to Spain on a holiday with
Really?
your friends after that. I think the tourism for Spain just skyrocketed.
Yeah, I think there was an article about it went up by a certain percentage after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, power of Indian cinema is right. It's proven there.
So yeah, the tourism level skyrocketed in Spain, and not just that, but Switzerland as well.
Okay.
After all the dances in the mountains.
Oh, and the
scenery.
DDLJ, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's literally a whole tour in Switzerland called a Bollywood DDLJ
Wow,
tour
I need to do that.
to see wherever they all shot. And there's a whole Yash Chopra statue, I think.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there's a
wow.
documentary you can watch called The Romantics based on.
On Netflix, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously you have those kind of films. Even action films are standard, right? Masala
Yeah.
films are pretty much
Mhm.
standard. Like we've mentioned, obviously Pokiri and stuff. Any other good Masala films I'm missing? Giovanni's one recently
Giovanni,
that is
yeah.
actually really good as well. That came out, it became one of the biggest films. Became the biggest film at that
Mhm.
time. Those are one.
I think other films, maybe if you want a laugh on Rohit Shetty's films, those are also kind of masala. In
Like the
the sense. There's
comment-
a lot of
oh,
cars
yes.
flying. If you're not a fan of that,
There's also Singham Dabang.
yeah,
That's another big thing in Indian
Cop
cinema.
Universe, yeah,
Police in Indian cinema is such a big thing. Yeah, you have the cop universe, even the spy universe.
yeah.
Ek the Tiger, I think, is one.
Ekta Tiger,
War.
Tigers in the Hair, War. Now War 2 is coming. with-
Pathan.
yeah.
Yeah, so we have quite a few universes. And are there any films, other romantic films? I'm trying to think.
Romantic. But if you want any comedy as well, Akshay's got his
Yeah,
old
Welcome, Sing is King.
Welcome, Sing
Yeah,
is
those
King,
were the ones back in
OGs,
the day.
Yes. Welcome, Sing
Welcome,
is
Sing-
King.
Origi-
Vedanadan is also known.
Original Squid Game. If you know what we're talking about, yeah. Welcome at the end is basically the original
Squid Game. Oh my god.
Yeah, because I think someone posted something about that, saying that. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, at the end, the whole house. It's kind of a bit mad.
Yeah. Then there's the other, the Housefuls.
Yeah, the house. Oh, Namaste London. That's like
Namaste
a rom-com.
London.
That's hilarious. When she goes to meet those three guys, and that's one of the funniest scenes. I was stuck. And they had the whole rugby match at the end.
Yeah.
That's quite a unique film back then, because I guess maybe it was trying to show how people were trying to move here, and obviously if you find someone that's out of the culture and stuff, so that was quite interesting actually.
That was Lagan. How can we forget Lagan?
See, I've seen the ending to that film, but not start to finish.
It's a
So
long
I know
movie.
that the cricket match, and
Yeah.
then he stands behind the line and stuff. Yeah, that's 2001,
Yeah, one I think.
and that was India's first entry to the Oscars.
Yeah, before now Lapata Ladies did make it in, but unfortunately
And
didn't pass
Kanguvav was gonna get nominated, but it didn't.
it.
What a shame.
Kanguva was gonna get
Whoa, wait, hold up. See, I'm one of those people, yeah, that like that film. So I know a lot of
Okay.
people didn't, but you didn't, did you?
I mean, it's very hard for me to actually hate a movie.
Yeah.
If I hate a movie, it means I can't even get through 10 minutes. But I made it through 1.5 hours.
Okay,
So
you made
I
it.
made it through.
Yeah.
It was not I mean, it was good in the sense I love Surya as an actor. So I feel like maybe just because I liked Surya, I made it
Yeah.
through. So it was not horrible, but I feel like maybe it could have done better.
Yeah, that was a good film. But like even going back, you have like films like Gadda, Amar Akbar Anthony. That's one film that everyone should watch actually.
Yes, Amar Akbar
That's
Anthony. If
quite.
you're going back to the 70s.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Diwar.
Diva. That's Dar.
Dar.
That's Shah Rukh
Dar.
Khan.
Yeah.
Like probably turning point maybe. One of
Bazigar maybe was.
which one came out first?
Bazigar was first. That was 93.
Oh.
Dar was 94.
Oh wow, 94. Wow, it's been ages. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where he plays two villain roles, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, those are his villain roles. I think I remember in your last podcast you mentioned that someone said that they wanted to see Shah Rukh Khan as a villain.
The villain.
I
That's
would
it.
actually be really excited to see that. I mean, he did have shades of grey in Rais.
Yeah, that's what someone said as well. Exactly, someone said that when we were talking about Vijay's film, and he mentioned that as well. So yeah, because he was like a hero to the public in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see him in a villain. But none of the big actors do that
Do
nowadays,
that anymore, that's the thing.
right?
And I feel like the younger generation doesn't want to take that risk as well.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger actors don't, because I think it's also that picture they've painted in our minds that they're like our kind of heroes. Like we look up to them in that kind of way, so they don't want to like. I don't know if it's betrayal, but I mean Vijay did it, so.
Yeah, he did it. I mean, he did it in Goat recently.
Yeah, the
as
rest
well.
of the industry can, and he did it really well, by the way.
Yeah,
Like
he did.
was such a good villain. Even villains, like that topic in itself is such a big topic in Indian cinema. Like to portray a villain in Indian
Yeah,
cinema and to do it
definitely.
well, like you'll get noticed. That's like a big turning point in people's careers.
Yeah,
Like Prakash
definitely.
Raj is
Yeah.
one villain, like Pokiri, Ghilli, and I think
Ghilli.
he's one actor that was in all three Pokiri remakes.
I think he was.
I think
yeah.
he was,
So
wasn't
he was in Pokiri with Mahesh Babu.
He was in
with Vijay,
Vijay.
and Wanted is the
So,
remake.
but
as well.
and he was villain in like Singham with Ajay Devgan,
Singham.
Ghilli. Like he's done quite a few villain films, and
Yeah.
they've been quite like Muttapandi. That's the iconic.
Muttapandi. Hi, Challa.
Yeah, the little sunglasses. He's one good actor. That's a villain. Like obviously you had like Gabbar Singh back in the day.
Amjad Khan, definitely. Prem Chopra was also one who
Okay.
made a name for himself. I think the older generation will know
Like,
Prem Chopra naam hai mera.
Shakal. I don't know what film that's from. I don't know if it's from. It's from
Amrish
Amitabh Bachchan film, Shakal. Amrish Puri, yeah, you were gonna
Amrish
mention.
Puri, definitely. I mean, we all know him as the really strict dad in DDLJ, but other
Yeah.
than that,
Like in Ram Lakhan and stuff, he was the villain as well.
Karan Arjun as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of villains now. But the new generation is not. I don't think we've had a convincing
No.
villain. Maybe Fahad Fasil is the closest we've had from
Yeah, Fahad
Pushpa
Fasil.
in terms of villain. But after that, the villain kind of scene has.
It's kind of died. Like, none of the new actors want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
if you approach Sid Malhotra with a villain role, he's going to say no. And anyway, he might think, like, oh, I'm too good looking. I can't be a villain.
It can make him evil. I mean, it's not. I mean, Arjun Kapoor was one that did it.
Arjun Kapoor, honestly, I think he makes a better villain than a hero.
Do you think?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I reckon some people.
With Singham again, he was... Honestly, I thought he was better than the rest of the cops.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. Like, the cops, like, the rest of the cops were really
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah,
I
yeah.
loved Ranveer Singh as Simba. Simba
Oh, yeah,
is
of
just
course.
this life full of energy.
Yeah, he was the best part of the film.
Yes, definitely. But I mean, Ajay Devgan was just walking in slow mo
Yeah,
majority
and
of the
the
time.
dialogues
The
and
dialogues, but he nailed it as a villain. I think.
yeah.
He'd be better off as a villain than an actor, other than Two States, which he looked really sweet
Oh,
in.
okay.
But other than that,
Yeah,
I
even
think he
Ashley,
kills it as a
another
villain.
villain. There was in Marco, the villain in that was really like evil and he
Mhm.
was like brutal, and the stuff he did in that, like, even doesn't matter. I mean, obviously kids shouldn't watch it,
yeah,
but spoiler alert, like, they basically kill the kids
Yeah.
and like the whole they wipe out the whole family.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I think that's what we need, because the whole thing in Indian cinema, right, is the hero wins.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the thing. But I wish there was that more of a challenge for the heroes, like more of a struggle. Cause like in Singham,
Yeah.
like even my dad would agree on me for this. Like at the end, yeah, I'm spoiler alert again.
Yeah,
He dies in 5 minutes.
exactly.
So what's the point? You built him up, and he dies in 5 minutes. I don't think there's a point to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they just need to be stronger and a bit more evil. Would you agree as well?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I mean, what's some of your favorite Indian films of all time?
Many, bro. I could make this list could go on forever. I think the podcast would be 10 hours long if we kept going. Too many. A lot of Shah Rukh films. I feel I grew up on Shah. I think a lot of our generation grew up on Shah Rukh. So he's like the standard for, like I said earlier, for love now at this point. too many. DDLJ, Om Shanti Om, Swades. Swades, very underrated movie. I think a lot of people should go watch Swades if you have like this, if you only have this view of Shah Rukh as a romantic hero, you can see him in Swades. Really hard hitting film, underrated as well. Dev Das. Okay, I could mention tons of Shah Rukh films. But other than Shah Rukh films, I think from the older films as well, the fun Saif Ali Khan rom-coms, Salam Namaste, that was really fun as well. And okay, one last Shah Rukh Khan, Dil To Pagal Hai was also really good. But from the newer gen, what I really enjoyed was Student of the Year. I feel like that movie was just fun.
Well, that launched free students.
Yeah. As a 10-year-old, that was really fun. Jab We Met also, a lot of... I could go on. But like in Hindi, these are a few. Telugu, I would say I really enjoyed Magadira. It's one of Ram Charan's first few films. It's also SS Rajamouli, so it's a
it's the epic story. Is it the epic kind of film, right?
I feel like, so Magadira was really nice. And of course, the Bahubalis, 1 and 2. Iga, really good as well. Yeah, so that's a few Telugu. Tamil, a lot of Vijay films. I think that could go on. Vijay is one of the best in the industry at the moment. So quite sad that he's leaving after this last film.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Fingers crossed he's back.
Pray that he comes back. But yeah, a lot of Vijay. Ghilli, Pokiri, Sivakasi is actually really fun as well. And from those newer ones, Master was really enjoyable. And otherwise, Dhanush is also another key figure.
Yeah, good film.
Vela Illa the Pattadari is a
VIP
really fun film.
Is actually hilarious. I think a lot of people can relate to that film.
Yeah. My mum just calls me that at home. She's like, Vela Illa the Pattadari, because you finished your undergraduate and now you don't have a job.
Yeah, that film was hilarious. There's so many, like KGF 1, I think, is one of my favorite ones. Three Idiots. Mohabbatan is actually one.
Mohabbatan is beautiful.
That's one of, I just like kind of fell in love with that film, you know. Even all three of the love stories as well. And what Amitabh Bachchan in that role was good as well. And the whole violin thing. And that was good. One that I watched like towards the end of last year, Race Gurram with
Race Gurram is hilarious.
I loved that film. That was one of the best, one of my favorite films as well. And one that I watched, maybe people may not know about it, but it was Don with like SK, Sivakarthikeyan.
Oh yes.
So
with Sivakarthikeyan.
I watched that, and I don't know, I feel like it hit different with me because I really like resonated kind of with that film. I mean, if I had to describe it, it'd be like a modern day Three Idiots. It wasn't one man himself, but I think it was like a modern day Three Idiots. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I have seen Don with Sivakarthikeyan. The Doctor is also another one with Sivakarthikeyan. It's a 2018 film.
And Kaleja, that's one that I loved as well. Mahesh Babu. Have you seen that one as well?
Mahesh Babu a bit less. I've seen a couple of his favorite ones, of the most iconic ones. So Pokiri, definitely. Yeah, of course. And I feel like Mahesh Babu, you need your spark to come back, because Guntur Karam was not it.
Oh, really? Well, he'll be back with SS Rajamouli film, isn't it?
So I'm hoping that he really does hit the park with SS Rajamouli. But it's interesting to see.
Yeah, because Priyanka Chopra might be in it as well, right?
I did not hear that rumor.
Yeah, this rumor, like, she's in India as well, and there's like, that's been the kind of big buzz at the moment. I wonder, because that might be a strategical thing by Rajamouli as well, like to get into the Hollywood, not like get in Hollywood, but to have that extra eyes on the product, because I mean, he's big as he is, right?
Yeah,
like, he's big
that's
enough.
right.
But to have someone that has that influence in the Western culture will be a plus. And I mean, he's obviously RRR Bahubali. Like, I'm sure he's not gonna. He can't fail it. Like, you know.
I feel like he's just got the streak. Like, every film that Rajamouli has released has been a hit.
Yeah.
But I've also heard about something called it's not like a curse, but it's like something that happens to all the actors that do a movie with Rajamouli. The next film that they do just flops. Like, we had, like, Prabhas had his big Bahubali 1 and 2. Then we get Saho, and that flops.
And Radhesham as well.
And Radhesham also flops. Ram Charan had RRR. After that, he had Acharya, flopped.
And Game Changer.
And Game Changer, we don't know how's that going.
It's not looking too well. Junior NTR, I think he was the one that broke it, though, because he had Devara after. I think that kind of did well. So he's the only one that's kind of come out of it, But that's, I think, another big part of Indian cinema, right?
Yeah.
Box office, because, I mean, it is probably the most bigger thing in terms of if a film's a hit or not. Like, do you agree on that? Like,
it does have a very big impact on whether the film's a hit or a
Yeah.
flop. Well, regardless of what the critics think, because the critics could think, oh, a movie's not good, but the audience might love it,
Yeah, and it will
and the
do
other
so
way
well.
around. Yeah,
Like vice versa. But I remember back in the day, it was only about 100 crore films, you know.
yeah.
But now it's gone to 1,000.
All thanks to Dangal, that one
Like,
film that just broke it.
like Amir Khan was the one that created the 100 crore one, but then he's just like advanced. Like even Salman had quite a few, but now it's gone to the thousands. Like it's actually crazy when you think about how that was back in I think 2008
Yeah,
with Gajni, and then to the how far Indian cinema has come now.
yeah.
Do you think it's changed quite a bit from time?
Definitely. What, like, nowadays we see people are not really enjoying it as much compared to, they're always like, oh, I reminisce on the golden days, like the old days, the 2000s era is what they call it as well. I feel like, honestly, I'm someone who just loves Bollywood in all shapes and forms. So it's very hard for me to say I don't like it now, because I do. But from what I've been hearing from other people, I feel like why people are saying, oh, the 2000s was better, we bring back the 2000s, it was much nicer. I think what Bollywood is doing now, which I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, is that they're trying to mimic Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
But not mimic, but like try to like make it into Hollywood. So now we've got all these over the top action films, over the top sci-fi, and people are just like, just bring back the niceness of the roots. Which is what I think Rocky Orani did finally, that Karan Johar made, and everybody was just like, it's slowly coming back now. But I think that's why people are very reluctant to go to see a Bollywood film now. And yeah, and that's why there are a lot of re-releases are coming again now, which I think is really nice to see, especially for kids who were really young when the film came out, to see it as in the cinema when they're growing up is a nice thing.
Yeah, because I don't know, because obviously this whole debate, I know it's called Indian cinema, but there's this whole thing, like North like versus South, and like, do you think Bollywood have not copied, but they're trying to mimic how the Masala films are in the South? Like, obviously we had Jawan and stuff, but do you think they're trying to kind of mimic that now? I mean, there were some action films back in their day.
Yeah.
Like you had Mehuna,
Yeah.
and like but Wanted was a remake. But you've probably had stuff. But do you think now, because they've seen the success of like pan Indian cinema, do you think they want to try and mimic that in some kind of way, not for like copy and paste?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Maybe because, I mean, parts of it, yeah, because also back in the day before Pan India happened, like only South Indians would watch South Indian films. Only the Hindi belt would watch Hindi films. So there was no exposure to what South Indian films were like. So I think that's why a lot of remakes came about, and also maybe lack of creativity. Like directors, producers, writers were not getting any creative ideas. So they were like, okay, this worked well for the South audience. Maybe if we make it for the Hindi belt, it might work as well.
Yeah, because I think now there is that whole remake culture in Indian cinema. But do you think the creativity has kind of disappeared slightly
It is
over the
slowly
years?
dipping over the years. I mean, people are losing ideas. I mean, not even just remakes of South films. I feel like reboots of old films as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that happening
a lot of reboots,
lately.
like Ishq Vishk with Shahid that came out. Now the recent one, Ishq Vishk, was rebranded again with Rohit Saraf and those guys as well. So yeah, I mean, so a lot of reboots are also coming in as well. I feel like maybe it's because creativity is dipping.
And sequels. I think that's been a big trend in the
Yeah,
last few years.
definitely.
You know, the sequels, and we've got a few cinematic universes now in Indian cinema, which is kind of cool, because I know like Maddox Films is basically kind of, we could call it the Indian Marvel, maybe.
That's what I would say. I'd say I kind of like it. That's why I was saying they're trying to mimic Hollywood a little bit as well with all these cinematic universes.
Yeah, because they announced eight films, and that's never been done in Indian cinema, so that's kind of like interesting. I mean, horror comedy, like that's in the horror comedy universe, which is quite a big selling point like lately. Have you seen any Indian horror comedies?
I mean, from the so-called universe, I have. So both the Strees, Munja, Ruhi. I'm not sure if Ruhi's counted in it.
I don't know, but it might be a separate kind of.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
too sure.
Munja, Ruhi, both the Strees, then Bhedia, which I really enjoyed, by the way. Really fun film. And now there are more coming up now. Munja 2, Bhedia 2.
Street 3 after, so there's so
might
many.
go to 3,200. We don't even know.
But even before that, you had like Bulbulaya 2, yeah, Chandramukhi, like
Chandramukhi,
which was was it a remake of a Mohanlal film, right?
Yeah, so the original is called Mani Chatratara, which is Malayalam. That came out long ago, I think in the 90s or something, if I'm not wrong. Then after that, they made Chandramukhi 1 with Rajni sir, and from after that with Rajnikant they made 2, and I think after Chandramukhi 1 came Bulbulaya 1 with
Yeah.
Akshay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chandramukhi was quite good actually. I've seen that. That's
yeah.
quite a good one. And but let's talk about like some actors, because who are some actors that everyone needs to know about? Like if you're a beginner in Indian cinema,
Sure.
or you want to learn more, like
Mhm.
who are some actors who you think everyone needs to know about? I mean, one's right on your
One's
yeah,
right on my hoodie. Shah Rukh Khan, the King Khan of Bollywood, is a must.
100%. Like he's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest. But I think he's where some people just have that Indian appeal. He's like everyone knows who Shah
Yeah.
Rukh Khan is. Someone might not know who like some other actors are, but if you mention Shah Rukh Khan's name,
I think,
everyone's gonna like
yeah.
rejoice.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I remember Tom Hiddleston, I think he did an interview, and I think the interviewers were asked, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you say India? Or then he says Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, so everybody from all
Yeah.
parts of the world, I think Shah Rukh Khan's just made a name for himself, and he's worked really hard to be where he is right now.
yeah, I mean all those hits and the comeback he's had, like the comeback run has given him some kind of strength now at the box office and all of that, because it's flipped his career up like upside down, right?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't doing well before that, and then he just come back. I mean, maybe everyone needs to do what he's done.
Yeah, we don't, maybe actually, but yeah, Salman's supposed to be coming back with a comeback.
Yeah,
this
Salman
year.
Khan's one that everyone should like kind of know about as well. Yeah, the comeback as well. I think Rajnikant is one as well.
Rajni definitely.
Rajni's the style he has. That's kind of what his selling point was. Like this, he must be like 70, 80 now. Like
Yeah,
76,
he's
I
near
think.
to 80. I think him
Ye-
and Amitabh are around the
yeah.
same age.
And for what he does, that's why people love him so much. Like he's treated like God, right?
Yes, 100%.
Like the style he has, like in Sivaji when he's flicking the coin up and down.
That was sick.
Just his look as well, because what he looks like and what he actually looks like is different.
Yeah.
He's been able to like maintain that person. So those are some, like Vijay's one as well. Telepathy Vijay
Definitely. I think,
is
yeah.
definitely one to look out for, even from like the female side. I'm thinking like maybe a Kajol.
Kajol, because I mean, her and Shah Rukh were
That
one
pairing,
of the best
yeah.
pairs that have come out of Bollywood. Other people who are making it, I mean, Priyanka Chopra obviously
Just
started
made it,
off.
yeah.
She started off with Hindi cinema, but now she's killing it in Hollywood,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
one.
amazing. I think everybody knows Priyanka
Yeah,
Chopra
by
now
now.
as well. By now, Deepika Padukone is slowly making her way. I can.
What, back in?
No, I mean, in Hollywood as well.
Okay.
She's done one film.
Yeah, she did one
but-
with Vin Diesel.
with Vin Diesel, but now she's like brand ambassadors for all these big brands like
Yeah.
Dyson and LV. So maybe slowly she might be making a name. Maybe Alia Bhatt.
Yeah, or maybe Nayantara or like Samantha. I think maybe
Samantha,
Samantha's
100%
one.
actually.
And even like going back to the guys, obviously Amitabh Bachchan's one, and who else? I feel like we're missing like so many, but there's so many. That's the thing. There's so many like Vikram or like
Amir Khan as well.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
Amir
watch
Khan.
Three Idiots, you'll know
You'll know.
immediately.
like Dhanush. There's so many, but I mean your favorite actor's Shah Rukh,
Shah
right?
Rukh, yes. I mean, I'm very biased to Shah Rukh, so anything he releases, I will love.
But what made you like kind of like fall in like love with his films and like what resonated?
Okay, I think it's because there's that element of nostalgia that comes with it as well. Because the very first exposure I had to Indian cinema was Shah Rukh's movie, and one that I remember very vividly. So I was, I'm just revealing my age right now. I was 4 years old when Om Shanti Om came up. So to people who feel older than me, yes, I'm that young. And to people who are younger than me, yes, I'm that old. But yeah, so when Om Shanti Om came out in 2007, I was about 4 years old then. And I feel like that was the first thing I remember watching, like that exposure to Indian cinema. And I was scared when they literally almost banned when they were banning Deepika Padukone. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so Om Shanti Om definitely. And also like when at home growing up, I would listen to a lot of the songs as well. Drives, like when my mom would drive me to classes or something, she'd play music in the car, right? So in the car it'd just be like Om Shanti Om, a bunch of Desi music. So I think I remember Om Shanti Om really vividly. So I feel like Shah Rukh
Is the
was
one
the
that
person
resonated.
that resonated with me a lot as well. So yeah, I think he was the first like actor I was actually exposed to as well. So it's again like that nostalgia, soft spot.
from growing up, but yeah, because I think the first film I went to watch in the cinemas, I think it was Mehuna.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a Shah Rukh film as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the person. There's some of his films I haven't seen. I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah.
But I guess if like someone was to ask me kind of back then who my favorite was, or like who's one actor, like I would have said him, but I feel like now that's changed
Yeah.
because Telepathy Vijay's coming
Yeah,
in.
we've
and,
got a lot of excellent people now.
and I just think with Vijay, because it's only been a short journey, I've only kind of seen his films for a while. I mean, I watched Big Ill back like just before COVID, but I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
who he was really back then. And then in the last year when I went to watch Leo and stuff, it just, his films like hit different as well. Like the message he tries to come across, I think there is a bit of reality to it because he's trying to make a point because he wants to go into politics as well.
Yeah.
And the emotion he is able to deliver in those dialogues, especially in his like political films, is like really good. Like people, I don't know if he's underrated, but maybe just doesn't get enough credit from that, like outside the Tamil community.
Maybe.
I have to admit, when actors cry, sometimes it's not the best, right? But when Vijay cries, it's different. And even maybe like when Shah Rukh cries as well, you could say, like those two are like the probably favorite two. And well, we're never gonna get a film with them. But.
I know. I remember there were talks with Javan about him making a cameo, and I was like, "That's gonna kill." Like people are gonna like
Javan.
No, there was like ages ago, like with like during pre-production.
Because there was a picture of 3 of them back a while ago, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I think it was during pre-production phase when they were doing all that stuff. So there was that photo, and people were saying, "Oh, he might cameo in Javan," but didn't happen. But yeah, I don't. Maybe Vijay might take a bit of time out after he builds up his career.
He's gonna do a Shah Rukh, isn't he? He's gonna go into his political run and come back. But because like going back to them two coming together, there's an article I saw. So apparently Shah Rukh was meant to be the villain in Telepathy 63, which I think was a big ill.
Maybe.
I can't remember but if that happened, like, these two need to definitely these two are probably my favorite two, I would say.
Yeah.
Rajinikanth's also another one, but those two just I think solidify it.
No, that's fair. I just remember like ages ago, I think in 2001 when Tupaki released,
Shah Rukh Khan was dancing.
They were dancing
on the thing.
Video.
Yeah,
that was
he gave the award.
We got.
He gave the award, and he was like, "I'm waiting." And that's probably the closest we'll hopefully get. But like, those two are like top tier. Now we're gonna do the Q&A segment where I put a question on my Insta story, which was, what comes to your mind when I say Indian cinema? So thank you for your responses. And if you want to get involved in this part of the show, just make sure to follow me at Indian Cinema Junkie. And whenever I post something like this, just make sure to respond and I'll read your response. So we got quite a few here. So the first one, actually, do you know what? The first one is an actor we haven't actually mentioned through the whole of this episode.
Oh my God, who?
Kamal Hassan. Do you know what? We actually...
How could we have not talked about Kamal Hassan?
Oh, we never mentioned him. Like, this whole thing...
We actually forgot. All to Rajni, and I'm sorry to the Kamal fans. We just focused on Rajni.
God. Yeah, that's another icon, I guess you could put. Like, he's had films like Indian.
Yeah. Indian, and he's had a really, like, I think my first Kamal Hassan film that I saw was a really old film called Apuraja, where he played like a dwarf and
really
another, and he played a triple role in that film, I think, and so that was an old film from the 80s.
Yeah, and one of the films I need to watch of his is Nayakan. One I haven't watched, but I think it's one of those films that like everyone needs to watch as well. So the next one is Dr. Rajkumar from Sandalwood. Yeah, that's another one we didn't mention about.
Puneet Rajkumar from Sandalwood.
Dr. Shiva Rajkumar, and he had a brother, didn't he?
Yeah, Puneet and Shiva Rajkumar.
Yeah, Shiva Rajkumar. I've seen one of his films, and he was in Jailer. Do you remember?
Yeah, he was.
He's quite a cool guy. Like, I think he's just simple, you know that. He's there's not that amazing factor, but it's that simplicity that
that's
you're like, he's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
Now the next one is masala. Well, masala movies is a big thing in Indian cinema, right?
Definitely. It makes up like a lot of, I mean, we've got our more artistic films as well, but I feel like masala is what we thrive on and what we all enjoy as an audience.
Yeah, and I think it's probably one of the biggest selling parts when it comes to films, because it's an all-round film. You've got the music, you've got the action, you've got the dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of the perfect mix of everything. The next one is Google, because what movies will be released. So I'm guessing this person was like, because they'll use Google to find out what movies will be released. I mean, that's valid. I mean, because there's so much. I mean, you can follow my channel and on Instagram and TikTok, and you'll find out. But I mean, there's too many to like go through. So I guess Google will help.
Yeah, no, honestly, when you follow Indian Cinema Junkie, you know, I literally go to movies based on his recs, and then I will decide whether his recs are correct or not.
Yeah, if my reviews are actually correct. So the next one is Salah.
Yeah.
So that film came out in 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it clashed
Prashant
with
Deel.
Donkey.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
to be fair, that was the better film. At first, when I first watched it, I fell asleep during it. Not that it was boring. I think it was just because I was
During
tired.
Salah, you fell asleep.
But that's because I was tired, all right? It was because I was tired, yeah. And I rewatched it at home once and I enjoyed it. But then it re-released for his birthday last year, and
Yeah.
I think I loved it then. Like, it's got one of the best scenes from like any film I've seen. You know when he's gone to the girl tribe and he kills the guy?
Yeah,
And they
oh
just
my
start
God.
like they chanting and stuff. That's one of the best scenes I've ever seen. Like, I went crazy at the re-release. I was screaming when that scene and when he poses
Yeah.
with the kind of the blades and stuff, because then that kind of they kind of made him look like God, right? With all the weapons around
Yeah,
him and
that
stuff.
was
Like
really
that was
crazy.
really it's a good film.
Yeah.
Not as good as KGF, but it's still up there, like 100% up there. So the next person wrote Vetri Maran,
Sick director.
director, yeah. So he's done films like Vidutalai Part 1 and
Viduthalai
2.
Part 1 and 2, Asuran. Then he had Vadachennai. That was also really good as well. I mean, younger viewers, violence is trigger warning. But yeah, if you really want those hardcore films that are set in like villages, which is mainly where they're set, then yeah, I'd say Vetrimaran is
Watch his
another
films, yeah.
director.
Now, if someone said KGF, yeah, that's literally like, you're on the right track here. Another great film. I mean, we've mentioned it earlier, the whole kind of thing where, you know, a new star was born. And even the whole series in itself is really good. It's because in terms of chapter 2 was like really good as well. So it's probably, I would say, the best 2-part movie. What do you think?
I think it was really. I think they both lived up to each other,
Yeah.
and 2 did better than 1, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, at the box office,
Yeah.
yes, I think it did. So
I think same with Pushpa. 2 did better than
Yeah,
1,
it did
and to
way
be fair, I
better.
think 1 did release on Prime because it was still
COVID,
COVID.
right? Yeah, because KGF, even the story about it kind of was a bit commercialized in the sense that the gangsters and all of that. But I think KGF was rooted still in terms of the whole relationship to the mother.
Yeah.
And going to that field and like trying to go undercover basically. So it was all great as well. So the next one is Bahubali. Yep, a movie we talked about, a movie
Yeah.
that everyone should watch as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
And someone said Bollywood dancing. I mean, what is Indian cinema without dancing,
Bollywood
right?
dancing. No, yeah, exactly. There's no life to it. I think.
No.
I think there would be no life in films if there was no dancing.
No music, no dancing. I think we'd just be sitting there looking at a blank screen, basically, right?
Exactly.
Because dancing is such a big part of it. Even like dance classes, but like when we go to dance classes and stuff, and Bollywood is one thing, but then the South Indian thing, I feel like the kuttu moves and stuff
Kuttu
is
dancing is
next
another
level.
level.
Like
Yeah.
even if you look at all the actors dancing, you'll be like amazed.
Yeah.
Like who do you think are your kind of like favorite dancers, or who do you think are the best dancers?
Best dancers in Bollywood, there are quite a few. In the heroes or in the actors side, Vijay is an excellent dancer.
Yeah.
I think Vijay is just like the all-rounded person that he's got
Actor.
excellent dancer, excellent actor. He can sing
Yeah,
as well.
he can sing.
So he can just do everything, which is just outstanding. So Vijay's an amazing dancer. I'd say Allu Arjun, really good. If you see his films, Ala Vaikuntapuramlo, that is also one other film that is that I think people should watch. But yeah, so Ala Vaikuntapuramlo, really good dancing. Sarai Nodu, and even recently in, what was that film? Duvvada Jagannadam, that's another one.
Okay.
It's called DJ for short. So yeah, Allu Arjun, really good dancer as well. And I feel like because the South Kuttu moves are very like on top,
they're like
energetic,
powerful. Like
powerful.
they hit.
You've got to like have that
both-
ability.
Even I think Junior NTR is a really good dancer as well.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
he's like one of my favorite dancers. And obviously on the Bollywood side, you have like the olders can dance. Like some of them can
Okay,
dance.
Hrithik Roshan is
It's-
top tier.
Yeah, Hrithik Roshan and Prabhudeva are probably like Prabhudeva's number one. I think like he's like the master of dancing, right?
Yeah.
Even like Raghav, you got Raghav Lawrence, and
Yeah.
from the women's side, see, there's one person like Shruti Hassan. Like when I watched Race Gurum,
Yeah.
like there are some like she could dance in that. So there are like so many good dancers, and I think maybe it's come to the point where if you want to become an actor, you have to like
Be
be
able
a
to
good
dance.
dancer now. The older stars can get away with it now because obviously their style and the presence they have. But whoever wants to go into films now, you have to like be a good dancer.
That's so fair. That's very true. Shahid Kapoor, another good
Yeah,
dancer.
Vicky Kaushal.
Vicky. Karthik is also
Yeah,
bringing it out slowly.
Varun
I mean,
Dhawan.
with Bhool Bhulaiya, we see all his
The hook step,
moving.
the little the foot moves.
Yeah.
Even like Danush is a really good dancer
Yeah.
as well. So the game is becomes so strong now.
Mm-hmm.
So the next person wrote a vibrant display of Indian culture from all different parts of India.
I just answered it myself.
Yeah, I mean we are, but that's yours, and I
Yeah.
mean we did mention it right at the start, right as
Yeah.
well. Now the last but not least, they've mentioned one actor which someone else has mentioned, Kamal Hassan, the OG pan-India and titan of Indian cinema. Well, yeah, it's one actor we didn't mention, but yeah, you could consider him as like one of the OGs.
Yeah, definitely. He worked in I think every language. Like he did Hindi as well.
He's done Hey
Tamil.
Ram with Shah Rukh. He's done the
Hey
film
Ram
with Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, he did Hey Ram with Shah Rukh. Hindi, he did another film called Chachi 420, which I
Okay.
think they made it. I think it was bilingually made, so there's a Tamil version
And
and
the
a
Hindi
Hindi
version.
version. And yeah, he's just stepped foot in all industries.
Yeah, he's like well known and like he's become a big star. I mean, his last few films haven't like Indian 2 haven't done that well, but he's got one more film, so hopefully that's like a comeback
Yeah.
for him as well.
Yeah.
Because he's been going on for is it years as well, right?
Yes, I think he's made 200 plus films.
Oh wow,
So
it's 234 if I'm correct. The next
something
one.
like that.
Yeah, it's
because I know
more than enough.
Talaivar is 171
Yeah,
coming up now,
with
which is
Cooley.
Cooley.
Yeah,
That's 171. So I just know Kamal's a bit ahead in terms of movie names. I think another person we didn't manage to mention, I mean, she's passed away, bless her soul, Sridevi.
yeah, sure, yeah.
I think she's really like set it as well for Indian cinema. Someone from like she's worked in every single
South.
industry.
So
I
like
think
yeah.
yeah, and she's I think known as the female superstar, first female superstar.
You know how you said like she's done like the different films, like but you could say that she basically kind of started the whole pan India thing back then because like she was going
Yeah.
into all these films. Now you have her daughter and stuff. Like Indian cinema is still like going to this day, which is like crazy when you think about it because these 60, 70-year-old actors are still doing it and they're still getting like that love for these actors never changes, right?
Yeah, I think it's just gonna stay with you for forever.
Life, yeah, pretty much until like yeah. So that is your general insight to Indian cinema. Thank you for coming on the show today,
No worries,
Deeksha.
I really enjoyed talking. Like
Thank
this
you.
is my favorite topic. This podcast, like I said, could go on for 10 hours.
Indian cinema is literally the best topic to talk about, right?
Honestly, yeah. And yeah, I just really enjoyed my time here. It was lovely just doing a small deep dive.
Yeah, thank you so much. And make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button to keep up to date with the latest episodes. And like I said, if you want to get involved with the Q&A segment, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Indian Cinema Junkie.